Greetings, everyone. I know this has been obvious. I know that it has been a long process, so I'm not going to keep you long. Just kind of want to wake you up really quickly by just letting you know how grateful I am to be here. I'll just tell you a little bit about me. I am from Jamaica, and so Jamaican born and New York raised by some wonderful parents. I've always been that child, kind of outspoken and kind of working for the underdog, so to speak. I'm that child that was in Catholic school who another child's being bullied because their uniform isn't exactly clean, and I would go over to their home and literally wash it for them just to create a different narrative for them in school, right? And all my life I've been in servitude. At 23 years old, after going on tour with several record labels, I opened my own business, and shortly after that, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had to have a hysterectomy. Following that, diagnosed with lupus. After that, it's RA, and most recently, 2014, I was diagnosed with Wagner's vascular disease, GPA, so rare that quite a few people don't even know about it. In the midst of this happening and these diagnoses, I was taking chemo for some time, and God allowed me and led me to write a book. And because I had always been ministering for many years, God allowed me to write a book and teaching women how to be the wives that the Lord wants them to be and not what the world has told them. So I'm living the high life. I think all is well. It doesn't matter what, I've been diagnosed with. I'm still doing seminars. I'm teaching women. I'm doing one-on-one conferences, saving marriages out there, and everything became bleak. I started feeling, everything was laboring. I'm talking from brushing my teeth to walking up the stairs. It was excruciating for me. Because of all the other illnesses that I had, now I'm trying to even just muscle up the strength to walk. And so, needless to say, my rheumatologist suggested that I see a cardiologist, which I thought was totally off. This was 2020, no less. Right after COVID hit, literally about a month after. And so, of course, I needed his wise counsel, and I did come here, started dealing with the doctors. First of all, let's just talk about the doctors. Wonderful Dr. Singh. I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to deal with him, but Dr. Singh is relentless. His bedside manner is amazing. This man stopped the airways for a heart for me. The team, Sally, wonderful, Chelsea, Ashley, they're countless. Dr. DeMoss, Dr. Krishnawardhi, Dr. Longani, Dr. Cole, and Dr. Molina, who was my surgeon. They've been amazing. They're not sort of family for me, they are my family. I've literally adopted them. Because with every smile, with every word of encouragement, with every listening ear, they gave me hope. They made me understand that giving up was not an option. How do you thank people that have done that for you? I know that you all are in a juncture in your life where you're deciding on whether I should really dove into this and is it really worth it? But I want you to know that it is. I found myself thanking not just the medical staff, you wonderful people that have decided to be in great servitude, the epitome of servitude to others, but your family members, because it is taxing. There's a lot that you have to do. When you guys have no encouragement, the family members are there giving you that lifeline so that you can give us hope. How do you thank people like that? I can honestly tell you all that I would not have been able to make it through the process. In the process of being hospitalized, I certainly was in the hospital for about 2 months. After waiting about 2 years, I am one of the patients that did have a balloon pump, and I'm generally active, and I'm that Jamaican, I'm the New Yorker, so I'm always going. so it was really tedious for me to lay in a bed and be served. It brought such a sense of humility. And I remember when I got the message of having a heart, you know, sometimes when the Lord is about to bless you, the enemy becomes busy, and so he had my records all messed up saying that I was 5'8", and I'm like, never in my life. You know, I was 5'3", and so they were contemplating on whether this heart would work for me or not, and the questions, they just kept coming in the room and asking questions, and I'm just like, that's odd, because generally they come in and it's always just a good word of encouragement, and so they came in and they kept asking me these questions about myself. I'm like, yeah, something's up. And so they finally told me that you have a donor heart. I can honestly tell you that that was one of the most trying time. I can tell you that because, you know, you feel, or you're in hopes for the years that you've waited that I'm gonna give this heart, I'm gonna get a new lease on life, and everything is gonna be great, but you don't often think about the people that have given their life so that you can have yours. That bothered me, that rocked my spirit, because I didn't even want to accept it. I was just thinking about the person that left their loved ones behind, that was crying and mourning right now, so how dare I be happy? And so even though my wonderful staff, the staff came in and gave me this wonderful news, and they were filled with glee, I was hurting. There was so much sorrow, and one of them said to me, Maxine, I know that you believe in God. You're not God. You don't make the decision on who lives. And that gave me some sense of peace. That allowed me to relax a bit and know that, and feel privileged that the Lord has even allowed someone to live their life, take care of their heart, so that Maxine Johnson can have it. I was grateful. I still am. I can tell you that there is a process. I can tell you that there's not a chain that's broken. I can tell you that there was no interaction that I had with the team that felt transactional. Everything was just authentic. Everything was so weaved into the fabric of love. I ended up telling these people every day, I love you. I love you. And I know it sounded weird to them, but I'm a person of love. I love, and I know what it truly means, and I know the sacrifice that they've made. And so I can tell you that you've made the decision, or you're contemplating to make the decision to join a team of excellence. There has been no ball dropped. There was so much attention that at some point I'm like, God, please, I just want to rest. Can they please allow me to rest? And I'm not even talking about while I was just in the hospital, when I came home. They were always checking in, never making me feel as if I was just a paycheck. And so I encourage you all to stick with it. I can't wait to hear all the wonderful stories of the lives that you've changed simply by coming in and smiling despite what you're going through in life. You all are much needed, and more importantly, much wanted, because at the other end of it is a patient like me that has just gotten a diagnosis that they can quite possibly not make it. You gotta remember, I was in a unique position where I have not one, not two, but 3 autoimmune diseases, which seems virtually impossible. They never gave up. They never made me feel like there was no hope. Hope is the best thing that you can give anyone in life. I'm so grateful. I see Sally just by faith, even with the COVID masks. I took them on as my babies. I took these wonderful spirit and souls on as my family. I never felt alone. Even in the times when I was in that hospital room and no one else was there, in the wee hours of the night, I still felt that they were with me. They never came in despite whatever it was that they were going through in the outside world. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if they were having family issues, marital problems, what have you. It didn't matter if ends weren't meeting. They came in jovial. They came in with hope in their eyes for someone like me. I'm truly grateful. And so if you all are still wondering if you're ifing and anding about it, just know that the why is me.
Got right to the end.
So I open the floor. If there's anyone that has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Does anyone have a question?
How
Thank you for
are you
having me.
feeling, Maxine?
I love you. Thank you, guys.